His first month in remote closing, he was able to earn more than he'd ever earned in a month in a 4-year career as a real estate sales associate. Welcome to you, Choe. 12K is one of the products or offers that you sell. What is your commission on that?
Over $1,000 in a 1-hour conversation, if that.
Wow.
Shani reached out and said, why don't you apply for an appointment setter role for this company? I did the interview and they said I did great. They just had someone that was lined up, could start straight away because I had to give notice. Next day, I went and talked to my boss, quit work straight away.
You went headfirst in, you quit your job before you had that next step locked in.
Yeah.
Once you burn the boats, you have no plan B. It's pretty amazing what can happen. How has life shifted for you when you think about life today versus life only a few months ago?
Seriously, I wake up at 9, have a coffee, breakfast, couple calls, go to the gym 1 p.m, do a bit more work, make a few Ks.
It's the Remote Sales Podcast live from the Gold Coast home studio. I'm Kris Cochrane, the host, and I'm joined today by someone who only 5 months ago was cold calling, door knocking as a real estate sales associate. He was heading into the office at 8 o'clock in the morning. He was getting home after 6 p.m. And after transitioning into remote sales, his first month in remote closing, he was able to earn more than he'd ever earned in a month in a 4-year career as a real estate sales associate. It's a huge achievement. Welcome to you, Choe.
Thank you. Thanks for the warm welcome.
Mate, so talk us through that particular, you posted in our group and you said you posted a win. You had your first full month as a closer. And so with that, you earned more than you'd ever earned in a month as a 4-year career in real estate. So talk us through that, man. How was that? How did that feel to make that money within your first month as a closer?
Yeah, it felt like my whole career was a lie. Like the most I've made in real estate was 10K, like actually 10K on the dot. And the fact that I came the remote sales institute program and first full month closing 135,000 and 10% of that only by working like 50 hours in July. I was like, 9 to 5's a scam, and crazy.
It's such a good observation because you as you said, you're working 8 o'clock to 6 p.m, hustling 50-hour weeks or more in real estate. As anyone who's worked in real estate, especially as an associate, know that you are pounding the pavement and you're working your tail off, and to earn not a lot, and then to work what is now effectively a part-time role as a closer, to surpass that within your first month. Man, it's a huge achievement. Must feel nice.
Thank you. Yeah. As they would say, you've escaped the matrix of 9 to 5. And it's really the ultimate freedom.
Let's talk about the days as a real estate associate and getting into closing before you started this career. What was the career look like? What did life look like? How was it different to what you're doing now and life now? What was a typical day, and what were some of the motivations for you to want to get out of doing that?
Yeah, so it was pretty full on. Like, real estate is not just a job, it's a lifestyle. And for the last 4 years, I haven't had a Saturday off. And from Monday to Friday, I just be on the phone smashing cold calls, 240 conversations, trying to get into doors, appraisals, and also listing and selling property. So I started off as leasing, like the very bottom, and then got into business development management, so bringing in rental properties, and then got into sales. And I was in a very pivotal point in my career where if I had stayed for another year, I would have probably been my own agent. But then it just got to a point where I was making good money. I was on 6 figures, but it just wasn't enough. Like, I was looking at the future, 5 years. Do I still want to grind every Saturday, taking shit from buyers, taking shit from owners, just getting pounded every week? And then one time, what actually happened for me to want to leave the industry was quite funny. I wore a suit, right? I had a plain shirt underneath my blazer, and I come into work and my boss goes to me, he's like, look, the director of the company wants you to go back home, get changed, put a button up underneath your suit and come back. And then I was like, what? I still looked professional. Everything was, professional. And then I went home, took like 2 hours because I got the shits. And I was like, no, I need to make a change. I'm not going to have someone tell me what I can and can't wear. And there was another instances where I was trying to bulk up for the gym, trying to get my calories in. And I had a 15-minute lunch, went to an appointment, had another 15-minute lunch. And they're like, why are you having another lunch? Didn't you already eat? And then after that, I was like, man, I need to find a way out. Find a way out.
That's so funny. And the moment of decision is always it's always interesting to think about what was that moment it's effective in sales, as you know, to find the moment of the decision where you know you need to make a change. And for you, that moment's quite visceral, it sounds. Exactly the moment that you decided to get the hell out of real estate.
Yeah, that was a very small part, but obviously building up to that, it was just the micromanagement, the time of commuting, the door knocking, the amount of man hour that's needed to actually get somewhere in real estate, because real estate's, a decade game. It's a long-term game. And I was on the right track. I knew what I was doing and I knew how to be successful. I just needed to get this many listings, sell this many, and my commission was set, right? But I was looking at the future and I was like, I just want total freedom where I don't have a boss. I can just run my own business, work my own hours, and be wherever I want in the world. And so I interviewed like 4 different programs before actually joining RSI.
Wow.
But before that, I was actually, looking at, okay, so I need to make money online for me to have the ultimate freedom and time freedom. What can I do? And I started going down the rabbit hole of, drop shipping, day trading, OnlyFans management, degenerate stuff. But I came across ticket sales, and I swear your phone is listening to you. So when I was talking about making money online, I started getting ads on my Instagram, and I was like, high ticket sales, what's that? And I looked into it and I was like, wow, this is something that I want to do. It felt right with me already being in sales and talking to people. And I'm already selling the highest ticketed products you can sell, right? Properties. So I was like, I'll look into this, interview 4 different people, didn't feel right with any of them, and then came across RSI and I was like, man, this feels right. That's nice. That's nice.
I'm honoured, Matt. I'm honoured that you decided to choose us after going through a whole process, because sometimes people find us and we're the first that they've ever heard about remote sales, and they just go through the process and we end up working together. But then others, similar to yourself, you make that deliberate decision that you need to change, you explore opportunities, you look at remote sales, and then you're making a decision as to which provider. And so you're going through that solution, which is, hey, I'm going to get into closing, and then provider or company. So that's cool, man. That's awesome. Just a selfish question, what was it about us that you felt was different than everyone else you spoke to?
Yeah, I think just the track record of students actually getting through the program and having that statistic of 96% of students that finish the program end up landing a role. And I thought that was pretty good. And the testimonials of students, there's a lot of good reviews. And also I judged the closer of the other end, because I knew they were trying to close me, right? And I forgot who closed me, but he was good.
Matt Quixley, maybe. Matt was working.
Started with I think.
Oh, Robbins.
The engineer.
Robbins,
yeah. Yeah, it was Robbins. And when I went through the sales process with other people, even like American guys, and I'd give objections, right? And they just wouldn't overcome it. They'd be really pushy, and they would add in scarcity towards like the very end. And I was like, nah, mate, you're not going to close me. And then Robin just felt right. He was actually listening and doing the inside questioning as you would learn if you join RSI. And I was like, if he's working for them and that's what he's learned, I'm going to join.
Yeah.
So shout out to Robbins.
Shout out to Robbins. We love Robbins. Robbins was one of our first ever students. He was in the first pilot group we launched. He joined our Facebook group. He was already a closer. He was closing a Google offer. He was closing photography. Then he was closing a Google offer, Google agency, or some sort of ads agency for Google. And he was the first ever call that we assessed, or call review that we did, we completed for one of our coaching calls. So we started the program, we launched the pilot. He was in the Facebook group. He was looking to grow his skills and earn more. He's earning about $5,000 a month as a closer. And he was the first ever call that we listened to. And the call, lots of green shoots and there was lots of positives, but there was a lot of work to do. And credit to Robbins, the turnaround, people that listen to his calls, people that we've spoken to that have gone through the process with him, he's a savage. He's turned himself into a top 1% closer. And we're so proud of that because where he started as one of the originals with RSI, original student, first ever core review that we did for the program, and to where he is today, it's huge. And we hear this a lot. And so it's nice to hear that you had a great experience and the sales process that you went through felt good. And that's what you wanted to learn.
Exactly. Yeah, and it just felt like it was the right choice. Good feeling from it. So, yeah.
So, brother, let's talk about what you're doing now, because you came through the program, you landed a gig pretty quickly, and you're selling. What are you selling now for people who might be curious as to what is this guy selling? He's come from real estate. Now he's working from home. What are you selling and how does it work?
So currently I'm on an offer that is selling a trading course for people that want to learn how to trade in the share market. And it's for, people that just want to learn how to trade in the stock market, people that want to make money online like me, but in a different route. And the courses range from 2K all the way to 13K. And it's not just a course that gets sent to you. It's sort of like an RSI for trading, and they help you along the journey, get through the modules. And it's actually government accredited program. So you get a real diploma, which is very credible. And it's a very established company. So that's really good.
That's awesome.
And
what are some of the client, do you call them clients or students?
Clients, yep.
What are some of the problems or pain points of the clients that are coming to you? What are they experiencing when they're jumping on a call with you?
Yeah, I think it's very similar to like the problems that people would have in RSI, being stuck to that 9 to 5, job security, trading time for money, living paycheck to paycheck, or some people that just want to learn how to make their money work for them. And the demographics are typically between 40 to 60. I actually closed a 65-year-old yesterday.
Wow.
But so very similar problems to people. So very similar to what I was going through as well.
Was that the 12K PIF that you sent me through?
Yeah.
12K PIF.
1K.
So for people listening, $12,000 is one of the, I know that you've got multiple offers, multiple price points, but 12K is one of the products or offers that you sell. What is your commission on that?
Over a K in a 1 hour conversation, if that. It didn't even reach the hour mark, but yeah.
Dude, it's probably more than what you earn in a week when you started as a real estate associate.
Yeah, I started at the bottom, 50K, and then worked my way up to 6 figures. And even 6 figures is like not much nowadays.
No, not with inflation. Pretty hard to get by, especially you're living in Sydney, correct?
Yeah, I'm in Sydney.
Sydney doesn't go very far. 50K.
Yeah.
Or six figures.
Yeah,
six figures doesn't go very far. 6 figures is the new 50K. 100K is the new 50K.
Yeah. 200's the new 100K.
Yeah, I think it's not far off it. Alrighty, so I think people would be curious to understand the progression that you went through, because you were essentially an entry level, even though you were going up the chain, you were about to go, become a real estate agent. You were starting in remote sales from the bottom, not knowing this industry. When you started as a closer, how was that? How were the first few months? What was going through your mind? Did you have success early? Was it challenging early?
Yeah, so I found success pretty early on because I think the program helps you get ready for an actual role. So when you go through the modules and actually go through the group sessions and role plays and stuff, you're prepared. You're prepared to just go tackle and you know what you're doing. So it felt really smooth. And just before I get into how I got into my first role is I was working 9 to 5, gym in the morning, and from 5 to 9, 7 days a week, I was just doing the modules because I wanted to get through the modules as fast as I could, showing up to the calls, and I had to make it happen because I just couldn't stand another day in a suit. So I had to make it work, and my girlfriend at the time was, very supportive, and I just worked the whole whole time, and I got through the modules and started role playing and really understood what it was and started applying for roles. And Shani actually reached out to me. This is the reason why I quit work straight away. Shani reached out and said, hey, you're in real estate. Why don't you apply for an appointment setter role for this company? And I initially just wanted to be a closer. So I was like thinking, I put my ego aside and I actually applied and got myself an interview. And I was like, all right, fine, I'll start with an appointment setter, whatever. I wanted to be closer, but I'll do the interview. And I did the interview and they said I did great. And Shani goes, yeah, they just had someone that was lined up, could start straight away because I had to give notice, right? And so I was like, you know what? Next day, I went and talked to my boss, gave him a 3-week notice, had like 3 months of bills left to fall back on if I didn't get a role. So 3 months.
So you had 3 months of savings. You had 3 months runway that you'd have saved up that you could pay your bills to live off. So you went headfirst in, you quit your job before you had that next step locked in.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, because I had all my savings put into a property, so I had like no savings. So I had 3 months of rent, bills, food, groceries. And then, so I had to make it work. So I'm working on the module 7 days a week, doing role plays, and landed myself into one role, which was pretty shit. And you'll know that it's a shit role when they just interview you for like 10 minutes and you get the job.
They say, mate, you got the job. When can you start? You showed up to the interview, so let's hire you. Let's get you on.
Yeah, exactly. And on the flip side of that, the current role that I'm in is the extensive, right? Like interviews, role plays, mock calls, quizzes, 2 interviews. So I was like, okay, this is a serious offer. And so, like going into the offer, my first week, just getting settled, getting used to the CRMs and started learning about the actual offer that I'm on. But the sales aspect came really naturally to me. And I think real estate has definitely helped me set up for that. It was very transformational. So I just had to tweak a few things, and instead of being more pushy, it's more of a consultative closing, asking better questions, better tonality, which you've helped me with, Kris. You know, I was quite monotone when I was speaking, but now I'm like, curious tones, and so it was pretty smooth.
So good, because you got results really quickly. I know you wrote your own script as well. You went through the modules. You actually sat down, wrote your own script, and that was impressive for me that you took. Because you were working so diligently on this project, you'd quit your job, you were going head first in, there was no plan B, it was burn the boats.
Yeah.
You had to make it work, and then the work you were putting through just showed a complete understanding of everything that you learnt through the modules, and you were able to write your own script and then get your first, I don't know if I'm remembering this right, but did you close your first call?
Oh, my first call, but definitely the first week,
You got some breakthroughs in your first week, and I remember you had some quick success, and it was pretty cool that you were able to write a script using some of the frameworks and it just works. It's nice when that happens.
Yeah, definitely. And it's not just learning about a script, you're actually learning the mechanics of the process and just pre-handling objections from start to finish. And by the time you get to the pitch, it's like, fuck yeah, take my money.
Yeah. I tell you what, it's really nice. It's nice as a coach to just watch someone go through, apply the frameworks, and just things happen. When you follow the process, results can come. And it was cool to see you go through that and get results really quickly as a closer, which you didn't even need to start as an appointment setter. You went straight into a closing role, which is, to be honest, was a premium closing role. It's an A-grade offer. I'd absolutely classify it as an A-grade offer, something that a lot of people would fall over themselves to sell the offer that you're on now. So you're in a really good spot. At so young, what are you, 24 at the moment?
23.
23. So 23, very young, selling to 65-year-olds. You're seeing a lot of success. What do you feel like, how has life shifted for you when you think about life today versus life only a few months ago? How have things changed for you?
Yeah, I think I'm a lot more happier and I can be myself more. I don't have to pretend like I'm this polished real estate agent, and I just have so much free time, Kris. That's why you kept moving the times, and I'm like, it's chill, don't worry. But
I kept moving the times for this session because I was trying to organize other podcasts, and you were so relaxed about it.
Yeah, my day would typically, seriously, I wake up at 9, have a coffee, breakfast, couple calls, go to the gym 1 p.m. and come back, do a bit more work, make a few Ks. So it's really good just not having to, be out when there's traffic and go on bike rides when there's no one on the road, everyone's at work. It's been great. And James that I started around similar time with this offer, we're actually going to Thailand in about 10 days and we're just going to go explore Thailand, work together, do Muay Thai, train, go for walks, beach.
You should catch up with Jacob if you haven't already messaged Jacob, who's in the group as well.
Oh, I've seen his podcast, the guy with long hair, yeah?
Yeah, hit him up. He lives over in Thailand, so
Yeah.
the RSI crew getting together. So James is an RSI OG as well.
Yeah.
We love James.
James is a legend.
Ex-physio, we'll get him on the podcast very soon, but yeah, physiotherapist, became a closer. The day he got the gig, he booked a flight, went over to Greece. He started selling from Greece, so he was paying for his holiday while he was living the dream over in Europe. So he recently sent me a photograph of him sitting at the beach with his laptop. He had a beach chair, laptop, had a big umbrella, and he was closing deals at the beach.
Yeah. It's good to be sort of on the same level and bounce off each other. We're always texting each other about our wins and we're always communicating, and it's been great. Like, he's a good partner, sparring partner to have. Every week we have role plays locked in on Saturdays to jump on and just talk about some of the objections that may come up, and we just practice role playing. And it doesn't always happen because we get busy, but yeah, like we try and do that. And it's good to have someone that is sort of similar age and in the same level. So, and just growing together, and it's been great seeing both of our successes.
It's so nice to see you both on the same pathway and pushing each other on the same offer and in the same role. And it's also nice to see you both still showing up to the sessions. You're still a big part of the community, which, when you're busy with work and closing and everything, it sometimes people can just get laser focused on work. So it's awesome that you haven't sort of left that environment. You're still very much a part of it, and training, still focused on training. Thinking about real estate, where you've been, and anyone who's stuck in a real estate role as a real estate sales associate or even a real estate agent, because you're probably making more than what most real estate agents make as well, let's be honest.
Yeah.
So what would you say to someone who's actually in real estate at the moment, who's sitting there thinking, hey, is this the right pathway for me, when you compare to what the reality that you're living now?
Yeah, I mean, it's a no-brainer, and everyone asks me who's still in the industry, because I still know a lot of people. They're like, how'd you get into it? And I'll tell them, I'll be like, I'll help you. But most of the time they're just like, nah, you need to first want to make the commitment of, because it's a big decision. Like real estate, it's stable. You get a salary and you're also on a commission if you're an associate. So you just have to make the decision for yourself if you're willing to take the risk to get things that you want. Like, are you willing to put yourself in a position where you might not get paid tomorrow, but on the flip side of that, you can have the life that you want, working 20 hours a week, still making 6 figures? Like, it's insane. It's a no-brainer. And if anyone is kind of sick of that real estate lifestyle but want to jump into what I'm doing, I'd say hit me up.
Yeah, hit up Min.
Kris up.
Hit up Min. Just ask the question, because you live in that dream, and it takes a lot of courage to break the status quo. And I think the older people get, you're in a position where you were young and there probably wasn't a lot of downside. I mean, the downside was you were probably going to have to go back, live with your parents, or do something if you ran out of your runway. So you put yourself in a position where there was no plan B. But as people get a bit older, I think the perception of downside keeps people stuck. They think because maybe they've got a family or they've got a mortgage and they've got things that are kind of tying them down, almost these ties that we have in life that keeps them. It's like the golden handcuffs. They stay in a role which pays them okay, but and then for 20 or 30 years or 40 years, they just stay in this position, and they're so scared to move and to break that status quo, because what if it doesn't work out? But the question that people need to ask themselves, like you, is what if it does? And am I prepared to do whatever it takes to not experience failure, to not have failure as an option? So am I prepared to back myself and take the chance? And I think people need to think a lot of people just stay stuck because they're just not prepared to back themselves.
100%, Chris. And I think that people just need to work harder. Like if you've got a mortgage, you've got kids, you've got a wife to take care of, then that's fine. Stay in your job, but you can still work your 9 to 5, and then from your 5 to 9, you can work on this. You don't necessarily have to do what I did and just quit and back myself like completely. You can actually take the safe route, which is doing the modules, learning high ticket sales, learning how to close, and whilst you're working your 9 to 5, land the role, get settled into the role. And when you're actually making decent money and you're confident enough to quit and that you can pay the bills, then you can quit the 9 to 5. So you don't actually have to take the route. It's just, you got to want it bad enough. And I happen to want it bad enough.
Yeah, you made that powerful decision. You had that clear why behind what you were doing, and then you were intentional about exploring what was the right pathway for you. So a lot of people they fumble their way through life and they just do what they've always done and they just stay in the habit. So, but I think, when people become aware of things aren't working and things could be better, it's hearing stories like yours where that might just be the thing that sparks someone's attention to go, hey, actually, that sounds a lot better than what I'm doing and the life that I'm living. So just by doing what you're doing now, I think you'll help other people, because it takes courage, guts, and determination to do what you've done, transition across into something new, and change your life. And you'll see a lot of people over the journey that look up to you and will follow in your footsteps as well.
Yeah, and I've been helping newer students that may have questions, and it's been great because I just relearn the things as I'm teaching them. So it's been a win-win, just teaching the new students as well and replaying all the things that I've learned. And yeah, just seeing them be really appreciative of what I've went through. I think it's pretty cool.
What are the goals? Where do you see yourself in the next 12 months? And then what about the next 3 to 5 years?
Next 12 months, I've still got a lot of work to do, and there's always going to be challenges when you're working for yourself, and my income fluctuates, but a bad month for me would look like 4K a month. Like, that's a bad month. But I think my next 12 months goal is to scale it to 20K a month, hopefully. And if I have to get on another offer to do that, I will. And yeah, I think just keep learning, keep improving in all areas of my life, not just sales, but also relationships, fitness. And the next 3 to 5 years, I don't know, millionaire. Be where you're at, Chris, selling my own high ticket products and services.
Honestly, that's a progression that can happen here. Once you enter the online business space, you're selling on behalf of online business owners. What a lot of closers end up doing is they end up starting their own online business because they've seen how it works. In sales, you get to see how it works end to end. You see the machine and how it operates, and it just sets you up to, again, progress to manager, leader, but then again, starting your own offer and being an online business owner and an entrepreneur. So, mate, I wouldn't be surprised to see you crushing it very soon as an online entrepreneur.
Thank you. And can I just throw in there, like, the niche that you get into to sell for, you can leverage that and learn from your offer. So, for example, right now I'm on a trading offer and I'm learning how to trade, which is really good because I'm getting this commission money, and instead of just leaving it in the bank, James and I were trading together and just investing it to let it grow as well. So you can leverage your offer to learn more about what you can do to make income.
It's awesome. Yeah, I mean, there's just another benefit. Whatever you're selling generally, especially if it's education, you're going to learn the thing. So you can become passionate about it. You can become an expert at something that maybe you weren't before.
Yeah.
What tips or advice would you have for just general people, man? Anyone who's selling now, anyone who's thinking about jumping in, what's the one piece of advice you would share that might change someone's trajectory?
I think just back yourself, and you don't truly fail until you give up. So get rich or die trying.
Get money, brother. I love that, dude. I love that. Back yourself. I think the thing is back yourself. I have a tattoo on my arm. It says win or perish. It reminds when I was a fitness personal trainer back in the day. There was a time in Sydney where I was about to just head home and just pack up and quit the personal training career and go back to Tassie. Things weren't working as where I wanted them to be, and I had no money, had no cash, and I probably had like a week of cash flow left. And I ended up finding an opportunity to jump in and work with this company. I was getting 50% of what I'd sell, but I was on the gym floor. And so I took the opportunity. I had a week to make money. I was sleeping on someone's couch, and it was about burn the boats. I had no plan B. And that's why I got this tattoo, win or perish. You had the same approach to closing. You quit. You had 3 weeks of runway, 3 months, of runway, a little bit more than what I did. 3 months of runway. And it's probably not recommended and best practice for people to do that. But I tell you what, once you burn the boats and you have no plan B, it's pretty amazing what can happen.
Yeah, 100%.
I think there's something in the universe. You put something into the universe that does suggest that you're backing yourself, that puts so much confidence in your own ability when you can make that powerful decision without certainty.
Because like, what's the worst that could actually happen if you actually burn the boat, right? For me, it was get evicted, and that could still take months, get blacklisted on the rentals, whatever database, and move back into my parents' house, or go live in a hostel paying like $100 a week. As long as I had internet and a laptop and my phone, then I'm good.
It's worth exploring, I think, for some people, man. Thanks so much, Min. It's been fun hearing about your story, man. And I think the get rich or die trying, that'll be one of the quotes of the podcast series that we've had. So yeah. I think it's pretty cool. Dude, it's awesome to see your journey, and can't wait to watch it progress. And no doubt we'll have you back on the podcast soon and have fun in Thailand.
Thank you. Maybe when I hit 20K.
Let's do it. Let's do the 20K pod.
All right.
Thanks, Min.
Kris. Pardon me.
Thanks for listening. If you love the podcast, don't forget to subscribe on YouTube, rate the podcast if you're on Spotify, and if you're wanting to know more about remote sales, hit us up at remotesalesinstitute.com. We'll see you next week.